All right, what's going on to all fixed blade knife enthusiasts up there? What's up to all you survivalists out there and all you crazy guys that like big knives out there? That's who this video is for. I have to show off the most heaviest, most hardcore knife I have in my entire collection. This is the Work Tough Gear Commander. This is a made by ODM Knives. They have their own little lineup, but I think they have contract deals with Work Tough Gear. They make other knives like the Asset, which I've reviewed before. But in this case, what they did was they took the Asset and they made it just way bigger. They made it pretty much almost a quarter of an inch thick. They gave it a big 8-inch blade. And I think like the more heavier knives that I own are in the 18-ounce category. This is 23.4 ounces, or at least I think it's definitely 23 ounces. I forget like what the point is on it. But this is certainly the most heavy-dutyest knife I have in my entire collection. It's almost, I don't want to say it's impractical because that's not true, but it's so heavy that for me to carry it on my belt is it's actually very difficult. The thing is, the more I play with it and the more I use it, the more I get used to the weight. So who knows? Maybe one day I will finally get lucky and carry this big sucker into the wild. The handle. Let's just do the overall feel of it. The handle grip is actually quite boxy. It does copy the Asset grip, but just bigger. And it's certainly a big full size handle, but for a knife of this size and this caliber, you need a big handle for that. I have no complaints about the grip whatsoever. I like how you can grip it in multiple different ways. This is actually one of those times when a finger choil does make sense for a blade of this size. Once you get into that 8-inch category, that is when a finger choil does come in handy. Some people may disagree. Even I still would like to see more blade and just have a more secure finger guard. But nevertheless, I can see why some people do like a finger choil once you get to a blade of this size. Or in the back, it has some people call it a skull crusher. I just call it an impact tool. And what it is if you don't want to use your tip for something, you can use this to break open whatever. One thing that they did nice about that, if you can kind of tell that little line right there, they rounded it off. Whereas on the Asset, it's just straight right angles. This is much more, it's not as sharp. You still got that impact point, but this isn't nearly as aggressive. The G10 handle scales are excellent. It has this, like, I think I call it like a gate or something. Some type of, if you can tell that little bumpiness, that really helps. If it was slick, if it was a slick G10, like what's on the top here, that might be a little bit slippery if it gets wet. This, though, really helps out when it comes to the grip, and it does not dig into the hand too much. It just adds that just a little bit more that really helps out. The way that they finished it, though, is just excellent. The jimping up here is actually perfect, in my opinion. If you've ever watched any of my other videos, you can tell that I'm not the biggest fan of jimping at all. This jimping is done right. This has been rounded off quite well. And once again, I think that's a really good thing because when it has sharp jimping, it makes me not want to use it at all. I don't like it when it digs into my thumb and leaves marks. In this case, this is very subtle. It doesn't get in the way, and it actually just helps out quite a bit. As with most Work Tough Gear knives, they know that their users want to use fire steels. So as a result, they give you a big, long 45-degree angle. I got that, if I said that angle right, but they give you a nice right angle so that way you can get your fire steel and make some sparks with that. Down to the tip, it has a classic Bowie tip, which is my favorite type. I think it's just one of the more useful types of tips that you can have on a blade. They did a nice job of kind of grinding the extra part off right there. It just gives it a little extra look. The tip is absolutely wicked. Great tip. The edge has to be noted. For a blade of this size, it is just amazing just how much of a razor it is. It's just incredible on the mirror polish edge that they put on it. It is a convex edge, so you have a big, it's not full flat, it's a big saber grind down to a convex edge. It's just an extremely useful type of working edge that you can have with this. The one downside, though, is I have no idea if the camera's going to pick it up. Probably not. Yeah, just a little bit right there. First time I'm using it in the outdoors. There I am chopping some wood, getting some firewood ready. And, of course, I was in the backyard doing this, and I nicked it. I swung a little too hard, and it came into contact with the concrete, and I was like, oh, no, that's not good at all. But I took one of my finer sharpening stones, and I was able to just kind of repolish that edge right back, and we're almost as good as new. What else can I want to say? It does come with a fuller. I'm not really sure why. I think that was just the design. Some people call it a blood groove. I call it a fuller. And I think that would just kind of spawn from the previous models that they made. Again, the Asset has that as well. And I think they just kind of kept it for the looks. Frankly, I don't really think knives need fullers. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, just kind of give it a look. The chopping capability of this thing makes me never really want to swing a hatchet ever again. This knife is so big and so heavy that people are in the comment section are going to argue with me big time. I really think that if I have this, I really do not need a hatchet ever again. I can do so many more different types of camp chores, and frankly, this is safer than a hatchet. Again, in just my opinion. But with the 3-4 inch logs that I was chopping away, and as well as splitting it, again, I feel safer using this big guy versus a hatchet. So that's where this knife, I think, wins over other types of tools that you might be considering taking in the outdoors. Again, given the weight of it and given the things I can do with it, I'd rather have this than a hatchet. What else did I wanted to say? I don't really know what else to really add to it, except for that this is just by far the most heaviest knife I have in my collection now. Real glad to have it. Oh yeah, by the way, it is in K29 steel. I don't know too much about it, but apparently it is better than SK5 steel. It is a type of stainless steel. The thing is, I'm starting to rethink about stainless steels now. If the heat treat is good on it, then you don't need to worry about stainless steels holding a good edge. Again, heat treatment on steel means everything. You can have a poor quality steel, but have good heat treatment and still get a good results out of this. But K329 steel. I keep messing that up. Seems to be really good. I have a couple of other Work Tough Gear knives that have that type of steel and seems to be holding up just fine. One thing I do like about it though is when I do get chips, when I do get issues with it, and I take a sharpening stone and I just work it a little bit, it's easy to get an edge back, and that's really nice. I want a steel that I can just have a simple sharpening stone in the wild and just touch it up a little bit if I ever need to. I don't want a steel that I have to get a grinding wheel or some kind of like crazy sharpening system to sharpen. To me, that's no fun, and especially if I had to bug out bag with this thing, I don't want a steel that I'm going to need a fancy system to sharpen it. The sheath that it comes with, somebody else pointed online just how nice of Work Tough Gear they are to give you this. There's a regular Kydex sheath. This one's in like an olive drab green, which I really like. Most of them come in a black color. This one is in a green color, which I really like. The attachment that you can put on there, I just think that's absolutely fantastic of what Work Tough Gear gives you. How this comes standard. This is not like an extra purchase that I did with it. So the fact that Work Tough Gear actually is generous enough and actually has the resources enough to give you a nice Kydex sheath for the price of what you pay for. And by the way, this is actually one of the most freaking expensive knives I have in my collection. But the fact that they give you a nice Kydex sheath with it is me, like, to me, that's just the world. I love how they do that for their customers. Yes, of course, you can send it off and get whatever custom sheath you want with it. But the fact that this just naturally comes with it, with the belt attachment, to me, really does make a big deal. So to Work Tough Gear, you guys just keep being awesome. Keep pumping out knives that are very unique to the market. Good luck trying to find anything like this. You know, I don't see too many other knife manufacturers taking the risk in making very large knives like this, because to make a big knife takes a lot of time, a lot of material, a lot of resources, and then you have to hope that customers are actually going to purchase something this big and frankly this expensive. But for crazy knife nuts like me, yeah, there'll always be a market for it. And to finish it off and to go back again with the weight, I really was intimidated by the 23 point whatever ounces it was. In the beginning, I really thought, man, I kind of made a mistake. This knife is just too much. But the more I use it in the backyard, the more I ended up just kind of chopping away and just using it to make some fires, the more I just come to really appreciate the weight of it. And if I were to really buck out bag with this thing, this would pretty much be the only tool that I have, again, given the weight of it. That and probably just a small little pocket knife, and that's it. But anyway, wanted to show off something that is actually quite uncommon to see. Once again, this is the Work Tough Gear Commander, And I hope that Work Tough Gear has been doing really well financially, because I hope that they can keep making very unique, very cool blades like this. To anyone that's actually watched this, thank you for watching.